Well, today's Monday the 7th September, Labor Day. There are a lot of people that have gone home early for the weekend. Usually this is the last weekend of summer, but September's pretty warm here in Central Virginia, so people come here all the way into October. We haven't picked vegetables in 2 days. The better boys are really coming in. And we got this bag and that bag. My wife's harvesting jalapeno peppers. And that's most sweet millions. They have finally slowed down a little bit, thank God, because it is a lot to pick them. But that's the end of the harvest, and now I got to pick okra, and we're picking okra every single day. We haven't had any rain in, I don't know, 10 days or more, 2 weeks. And these cukes are replacing the cukes on the other end that are giving up. And you can see by the leaves it needs some moisture, and so do those melons, which I don't have a lot of hope to get anything off of, but you never know. These plants still have a lot of green ones on it, but they're finally slowing down a little bit. We've been really picking a lot every 2 days. We did get some lima beans a couple days ago. We're picking the okra every day. You can see those squash plants are definitely crying out for water. We picked some string beans, and the okra is probably the tallest in the middle down there, might be pushing 9 feet. And here are cukes, and they're dying slowly. When it gets to this, we don't irrigate. If it's green from the trunk up and has a cucumber on it, we will just spray it with a wand. And that way we keep getting twos and views. But you can see it's pretty much had it. If we had time today, we'd just pull them all out, but we don't. Time to pick some okra. She's just going to give them away because we've got enough. Dinner is served with air fresh vegetables. We have tomatoes and cucumbers. We have our own string beans. We have our own lima beans. We have our own fried okra, and this is what it looks like if you do it with flour or cornmeal. And the chicken wings we had to buy. We don't raise chickens. Well, today's August the 17th September. It is 18 minutes to 3 on the East Coast. And we had to come down today because it hasn't rained but a very little bit, about 3/4 of an inch in about 3 weeks. So we had to drive down here and drive back home, pick vegetables and water. The other day we were picking them, my bride's on the other side, and I said, you know, there was just these gorgeous clusters of red grapes. And I wish I'd left my bride just said tomatoes. I said clusters of grapes because generally you don't talk of clusters of tomatoes. But I didn't have my GoPro camera. Somehow we brought everything but the camera. So I was trying to come over here just to see, because these have been picked over on one side and we do reach through. Maybe you get in there and look at them. You know, they're a lot of tomatoes. I mean, when you look right there, it's like 25 tomatoes. You know, so you're going to get 50 or more on this plant. And there's 13 of them. You know, that's 650 tomatoes. And some of them have more than that on them ready to pick. And we got a better boy tomato leaning here a little bit from the weight. And not this plant, but one a little bit down from it. I'm trying to block the sun to get the picture up. You can still sure we have plenty of green ones left on it. But when I picked these Monday, today's Thursday, I picked them Monday evening, I got 18 better boys off one plant, and that was a record for us. And I picked these, and I didn't get more. I don't think I got 30 today. And we picked them Monday evening, and today is Wednesday afternoon, so not quite 3 days. I don't know if these Alababas are going to make it this late in September, but we do have 2 of them, and they're not quite the size of a tennis ball right now. And for anybody that ever really wants to know what happens when this gets big, see this little tendril? It's closest to the stem to the melon. When that one dries up and curls up, it's time to pick it. Unless it's been too dry, and it dried up anyway. And that will happen in drought situations. See, there's one right there. It usually gets real curly after a while, and you can see that one's trying to curl. When that whole thing turns brown, it's time to pick that melon under normal conditions. And then over here, we have another thing growing, and its shape, I would say, is probably a cantaloupe. My bride is looking over here to see whether she thinks it's a cantaloupe. What do you think?
I don't know.
It's a toss-up. It's sort of a toss-up. Here's the other side looking back into the sun, and you can see. Did you pick the other side first?
No, this is where I started, down here.
You're on your third plant? What's in the bag? That's 3 plants worth. But you can see that they're, from the other side, you can still see a bunch of clusters of nice big old red tomatoes. We have pigs, but they're not really getting a lot larger. And one thing is, we've been in almost drought conditions. This is Thursday, the 17th of September, and I think 3 weeks ago it stopped raining. Last Thursday it rained, and we got about a ½ inch down here, and then Friday we got about a ¼ inch, and Saturday was sort of cloudy all day and heavy mist from time to time that you wouldn't want to stand outside, but probably an 1/8 of an inch. So we've had less than an inch in about maybe almost a month, and we're having to water. We picked some llamas already, and we picked some dry pods, and we picked green pods with green beans in them. When you look down here between here and that building, I see a butterfly. Do you see a bee of any type? There's nothing pollinating them. And now a couple of years ago I was complaining about that on their green beans, and they said they don't really need pollinating. A lot of things might not need pollinating, and I didn't know green beans were one of them, that they did not be pollinated. But when you have pollinators with things that don't need to be pollinated, you get more of them. But you can see the hundreds and hundreds of flowers on these llama beans and how few pods there are. And there's a sweet basil sitting right up there, sticking up in that beans. And see those flowers? Last year that would have had 20 or 30 bees on it. This year there's none. 0.